From the National Weather Service in Raleigh, it's Nick Petro with your routine Thursday weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, covering today through next Wednesday, through the 25th of May. So there's two things I want to first draw your attention to, and bear with me here for just a second. There we go. Number one, first off, there's a severe thunderstorm risk for today. And you can see the yellow is where the slight risk of severe thunderstorms is located, and the darker green is the marginal. Now, the difference between marginal and slight is basically coverage. So where there's the dark green, that means it's more isolated. Where there's yellow, probably a few additional, more coverage, in other words. So we call that level 2 out of 5 risk in the yellow, whereas the green's a level 1 out of 5. If you do get a severe thunderstorm today, it's going to be damaging wind, large hail are the main concerns. Right now, we're thinking this isn't a tornado setup. This is mainly a straight line wind and large hail event. Obviously, all storms have lightning, so you need to take that into consideration for your outdoor activities. And timing will be this afternoon and evening. And I'll get more into the timing here shortly. Just hang on and we'll get to the timing. The other hazard I want to bring to your attention is the heat. Heat is typically the leading cause of weather-related fatalities each year. And we're going to be entering in a period of very hot weather today, particularly tomorrow and Saturday, and even into Sunday. It's going to be very, very hot, mid to upper 90s. Okay, so now, mid to upper 90s in August is different than mid to upper 90s in May because, we're not quite acclimated to such extreme heat early in the season. So, typically, a mid to upper 90s day in May will result in more heat-related injuries than one, say, in August. They'll both cause, heat-related injuries, but generally the number of heat-related stresses and illnesses are higher early in the season due to the acclimation issues. So don't blow this one off or any of them off. They're all important. Anytime you hear about heat, reaching the mid to upper 90s, obviously you need to take the precautions here that I have listed, particularly staying hydrated, taking breaks in the shade as often as possible if you're an outdoor worker, and checking up on those who are more vulnerable, elderlies, sick, and those without air conditioning. And then, we hate to see it in the news, but it, seems to happen every year where we hear it on the news, where people leave kids or pets in the car unattended, and you're thinking to yourself, how on earth could that possibly happen, right? But it does, and I can't quite understand it, why, how, or what. But we always have the saying, look before you lock. Make sure, you don't leave anybody or anyone or kids, pets, or whoever in the car on these hot days. All right, so let's get back into the thunderstorm potential here. And we're looking at GR Earth here and satellite radar, current conditions. And you see that big mass of clouds out there over Missouri. That's a big thunderstorm complex. You'll see there's a string of clouds here attached to it that connects it off to the east. And, this huge thunderstorm complex is out here. And then there's these clouds are sort of attached to it. There's a little bit of a boundary, and you can see that in the temperatures here. There's a little bit of a not quite an air mass change, but just more of a little bit of a connection of the two. You might see it better in dew points, but not even so much. We've got dew points in the mid 70s versus mid 60s versus lower 60s. On the other side of that cloud bank there. But the bottom line is as this whole system emerges eastward, we're going to see the risk for showers and thunderstorms spread across central North Carolina later today. And as I pointed out, as I overlay the Storm Prediction Center outlook, You see that right there? See the yellow in the background? The expectation from Storm Prediction Center is that this cluster of storms will basically take a track like this, right? And these storms right here, which many of which are going to be severe. And that's why they have, much of central North Carolina highlighted in yellow, which is this slight chance, level 2 out of 5. And then it kind of tails off and flanks, north and south with lesser coverage, right? Because you're getting away from where this cluster is expected to move. So the only downside about this is that, guess what happens when this cluster crosses over the mountains? Yeah, it comes down the mountain. And when air sinks, when air comes down the mountain, it warms and it compresses and it dries out. So we see a lot of models that show this activity moving across the mountains later today and this evening, and then drying up and dissipating before it crosses central North Carolina. So there's a great deal of uncertainty that, whether or not these can hold together. If they do hold together and survive east of the mountains, then they could be potentially severe. All right. So, but the mountains, the mountains to our west, come sometimes wreak havoc on our forecast, So here's a simulation to kind of show you the timing of these. And again, it's still, you saw it's over Missouri. It's got a long way to go before it gets here, right? So here's, this simulation shows it dry through 7 p.m. And then it has a few lingering cells at 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 a.m. tonight. So, and that's it. Look how little there is in this particular simulation. Let me back up again. So here we are right now, 11:30 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., no problem. Dry 4 p.m., dry 5 p.m., dry 6 p.m., dry 7 p.m. And then maybe, 8 p.m., we start to see a few of those scattered showers and storms get going. But man, look how isolated in coverage that is. Let me load up another model, another very good model. And I know a lot of times folks ask me, what web page are you on? This is an internal web page, so I'm sorry I can't, obviously you can see the URL there, but if you try to go to that, it's only open and available to us here at the Weather Service as one of our tools for looking at simulations of radar. But there's a lot of other radar simulation tools out there, so certainly this isn't the only place you can get it. All right. So anyway, here's another very good model that we use for simulating radar. Here's 9 a.m. Basically, here's the current time frame: 12, 1, 2 this afternoon, 3 p.m. today, 4 p.m. today. We're starting to get a few of those cells develop east of the mountains, but look how modest the coverage is. There's 10 p.m. Well, there. Oh wait, let me back up here. Looks like it's skipped. There's 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight tonight, 1 a.m. tonight. So, that's basically what's left of that complex right there, but not coming through until, late this evening, perhaps even overnight tonight. Okay. So, so I think we're going to be okay through this afternoon. And then this evening, we'll be watching those storms come off the mountains. And then I think late this evening, into early overnight is probably our best timing for the chance of those storms. Okay, you can see they have a long ways to go before they get here. All right, so let's get back to the slides. And this weather disturbance moving across our area will provide that chance for isolated, scattered, severe storms. I have later this afternoon and this evening. I should probably just change it to right there. There you go. This evening. So I think we're going to be fine this afternoon. All right. And then mainly dry and hot on Friday. Hot is the key word there. And then continued hot through this weekend with isolated to scattered late day showers and thunderstorms possible. We're getting into sort of the outflow boundary driven storms and the Piedmont trough driven storms, and a lot of just heat driving some of these storms. And then finally, a cold front will move through on Monday. You can see that in the lower left panel, providing another opportunity for showers and storms. So anyway, I think the main weather story is going to be the heat this weekend. All right. In terms of how much rainfall, most folks will get an inch of rain between now and the next 7 days, give or take a half inch either way. So, I don't think, it really, when we get to this time of year, who sees the heaviest rain is often dependent on where the thunderstorm downpours occur. So, 5 days away, for example, I can't tell you where a heavy downpour from a thunderstorm is going to occur, but we do know that a cold front moving through, for example, on Monday will provide a chance for showers and storms. So that's why I say on average in the next 7 days, most places will probably see about an inch, give or take a half inch either way. Some places a little bit more, some places a little bit less. All right, there's that thunderstorm potential. You'll notice on green, the green on Friday, you're probably thinking, well, wait a minute, you just said it's going to be mainly dry on Friday. I use the word mainly because there is a very, very slim chance for a very isolated pop-up shower storm tomorrow. But I think most places are going to stay dry tomorrow, Friday. And then there's that risk on Saturday. So light green means general thunder, doesn't necessarily mean organized to severe. Okay, so our best chance for organized severe storms is later this evening or early tonight. Okay. All right. In terms of flash flood potential, despite this increased rain chances, widespread flooding is not anticipated. We think these storms are going to move fast enough to preclude any flood risk. Looks like hot and maybe scattered showers and thunderstorms will be the theme as we head to the 8 to 14 day time frame. Don't forget, we still have some drought east of I-95. It's creeping back up northeast of Raleigh there, and it's creeping back up across the mountains. So abnormally dry is expanding yet again. So we could definitely use some rain. All right, so that wraps up this Thursday's briefing. Again, the weather disturbance moving across later today, that cluster I showed you earlier, that'll bring some thunderstorms. And again, I'll update this here this evening. I think we're going to be okay this afternoon. Mainly dry and hot on Friday. Again, if there's don't be surprised if there's one or maybe two thunderstorms that pop up. Most places will stay dry Friday. The main weather story is going to be the heat. And then continued hot through this weekend with isolated to scattered late day showers and thunderstorms. Will be possible both Saturday and Sunday. Not a washout, just scattered isolated storms. And then a cold front on Monday give us another chance for rain. All right. And then again, don't forget that any of the storms tonight will have a chance for damaging winds and large hail. The first hot spell of the season will begin today. High temperatures today will reach the lower to mid 90s and then continued hot Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So definitely take your heat precautions and remember, mid and upper 90s in May is seemingly worse than mid to upper 90s in August. All right, although they're both bad. Don't get me wrong, they're both bad, but people are less acclimated to it in May than they are in June, or July for that matter too. All right, so that wraps up our weekly briefing for Central North Carolina.